What if the brands you've been saving for, the ones you see as the ultimate markers of success, are the very same labels the ultra-wealthy turn their backs on? Today, we're going to uncover the surprising truth about luxury. From iconic fashion houses to glittering jewelers and world-famous watchmakers, there are certain names billionaires quietly avoid, even while the middle class chases them like trophies. Get ready, because what you're about to hear may change the way you look at status forever. 1. Michael Kors, the fall of overexposure. There was a time when Michael Kors bags felt like the ultimate dream purchase for an aspiring shopper. Sleek designs, that bold MK logo, and the idea that you'd finally stepped into the world of luxury. But for the ultra-wealthy, that logo became a warning sign. By the mid-2000s, Michael Kors committed the one sin no luxury brand can ever recover from: overexposure. Their signature bags began flooding outlets and department stores, often at heavy discounts. Overnight, the exclusivity vanished. Once everyone could have it, the rich didn't want it. Capri Holdings, the parent company, has since watched its stock plummet over 80% from its highs. For middle-class consumers, an MK bag still feels like a milestone, but among billionaires, it's shorthand for not real luxury. 2. Coach, the entry-level trap. Coach is another classic story of a respected brand losing its grip on exclusivity. Founded in 1941 as a maker of fine leather goods, Coach was once seen as a true American luxury house. But in the early 2000s, the brand expanded too aggressively. Outlets popped up everywhere, and the once elite designs were suddenly within reach for almost anyone. Even though recent rebranding efforts under creative director Stuart Vevers improved style credibility, the wealthy had already moved on. Among the truly rich, Coach is now considered entry-level luxury, with most items priced under $500, pocket change for billionaires. But for the middle class, those iconic C logos still signal that you've made it, that you're holding a piece of the good life. 3. Tiffany & Company, the blue box illusion. For decades, Tiffany's robin egg blue box represented romance, wealth, and sophistication. It was the jeweler of choice for weddings, anniversaries, and generational wealth. But after LVMH's massive $15.8 billion acquisition in 2021, Tiffany took a sharp turn. Their new celebrity-driven campaigns, featuring Jay-Z and Beyoncé, alienated many of their traditional clients. For billionaires, Tiffany lost its quiet elegance and became just another mass-market luxury name. The ultra-rich now seek bespoke jewelers or highly exclusive houses like Graff or Buccellati. Meanwhile, middle-class shoppers still flock to Tiffany for silver pieces under $500, eager to own that iconic blue box, even though it's exactly the kind of product the wealthy would never buy. 4. Rolex, the watch everyone knows. At first glance, it may shock you to hear that billionaires avoid Rolex. After all, it's the most recognized luxury watch brand in the world, worn by presidents, athletes, and celebrities. But that recognition is the problem. Rolex produces close to 1 million watches a year. For the ultra-rich, that feels like mass production. Old money wants rarity, not ubiquity. Instead of a Rolex Submariner or Datejust, billionaires turn to independent watchmakers like Philippe Dufour or F.P. Journe, where timepieces start at 6 figures and waiting lists stretch for years. To a middle-class buyer, saving up for a Rolex feels like a once-in-a-lifetime achievement. To a billionaire, it's the watch you buy when you don't really know watches. 5. Gucci. Too loud, too trendy. Gucci has always been a name dripping with flair. Under Alessandro Michele's creative direction from 2015 to 2022, the brand exploded in popularity with bold prints, oversized logos, and flashy designs that dominated social media. Middle-class buyers jumped at the chance to own something so recognizable, treating GG monograms as the ultimate luxury purchase. But for old money, Gucci became too much, too trendy, too logo-heavy, and far too loud. The wealthy tend to prefer subtlety, where the craftsmanship whispers rather than shouts. By 2023, Gucci's sales had dropped over 14% as the brand tried to recalibrate. But for billionaires, the damage was done. For them, Gucci had crossed the line into fashion for the masses, not the elite. 6. Armani Exchange and Emporio. Armani diluted luxury. When Giorgio Armani's main line appeared on runways, it symbolized timeless sophistication. But the launch of diffusion lines like Armani Exchange and Emporio Armani shifted perception dramatically. These lines were designed to capture the broader market with lower prices and more casual styles. They worked so much so that in 2022, these diffusion brands accounted for more than 65% of Armani's revenue. But here's the catch. That revenue isn't coming from billionaires. The ultra-wealthy avoid them entirely, seeing AX and Emporio as diluted mass-market imitations of true luxury. Middle-class shoppers, on the other hand, proudly wear the AX logo, believing they've stepped into the Armani world. For elites, though, only the main Giorgio Armani line counts. 7. Louis Vuitton, the logo problem. Louis Vuitton is still one of the most valuable luxury houses in the world, but even here, billionaires are selective. The brand's famous monogram canvas items, starting around $1,500, are loved by middle-class buyers eager to display wealth. In fact, these canvas products account for roughly 70% of Vuitton's $15 billion in annual revenue. But the truly wealthy, they steer clear of anything covered in LV logos. Instead, they gravitate toward Vuitton's quiet, logo-free leather goods or rare artist collaborations. For them, the sea of brown monogram canvas bags signals mass appeal, not exclusivity. It's a perfect example of how the same design can scream luxury to one group while whispering mainstream to another. 8. Versace, the new money label. Versace is the definition of bold Italian glamour. Medusa heads, vibrant prints, and attention-grabbing designs have made the brand a favourite of celebrities and social climbers. But in elite circles, Versace is often dismissed as new money. After Capri Holdings, Michael Kors' parent company, acquired Versace for $2.1 billion in 2018, the house expanded production of more accessible logo items. To the wealthy, that stripped away its mystique. Subtlety is what they admire, not showiness. Middle-class consumers, however, continue to treat Versace as the ultimate symbol of success, saving up for a Medusa belt or flashy handbag. In reality, for billionaires, Versace is simply too loud, too obvious, and far too common. 9. Tag Heuer, affordable luxury at a price. Tag Heuer is another brand that thrives on middle-class aspiration. With average prices between $2,500 and $5,000, these watches feel like a huge investment for professionals chasing status. Tag's partnerships with celebrities and sports leagues reinforced the idea that it was a brand of winners. But to the wealthy, TAG is entry-level. Its widespread availability and accessible pricing put it in a category billionaires don't touch. Instead, they invest in heritage watchmakers like Patek Philippe or Audemars Piguet, where exclusivity reigns supreme. TAG makes excellent timepieces, but its core audience isn't the world's billionaires. It's the middle-class dreamers who see it as a first step into luxury. 10. Burberry. When a pattern breaks. Few designs are as recognizable as Burberry's signature check pattern. But in the early 2000s, counterfeiting exploded. Suddenly, that beige and red plaid was everywhere, on scarves, bags, even knockoff caps. The once proud symbol of British elegance became overexposed and cheapened. Though Burberry has since fought to restore its image, the damage lingers. Today, the wealthy prefer Burberry's subtler items, like trench coats without the obvious check. or they opt for competitors like Loro Piana and Brunello Cucinelli. Middle-class buyers, however, continue to chase the check pattern, which still makes up nearly a third of Burberry's annual sales. It's the perfect example of how a design can mean prestige to one group and passé to another. 11. Calvin Klein, from cool to commonplace. Calvin Klein was once the face of sleek American minimalism. Its underwear campaigns in the 90s, with bold black and white photography, defined modern cool. But after PVH Corp acquired the brand in 2003, Calvin Klein expanded aggressively into department stores and outlets. The result? Accessibility at the expense of exclusivity. Today, among the wealthy, CK is no longer a true luxury brand. They see it as mass market, not something to be taken seriously. Yet for middle-class consumers, Calvin Klein still carries weight, especially in emerging markets where its image remains aspirational. A CK logo on jeans or a fragrance bottle feels like a step up, a piece of luxury within reach, even if the elite don't agree. 12. Prada, nylon dreams versus leather reality. Prada revolutionized fashion in the 1990s with its nylon backpacks and bags. Lightweight, durable, and stylish, they became an instant hit with a younger crowd eager to step into designer fashion. Even today, these nylon pieces, starting at just under $1,000, remain some of Prada's best sellers. But the truly wealthy see them differently. Nylon is considered entry-level, a starting point for younger buyers. For serious collectors, Prada's higher-end leather goods or innovative collections like Linea Rossa carry the real prestige. To billionaires, nylon backpacks are markers of middle-class aspiration, not true luxury. For the rest of us, though, that little triangle Prada logo still feels like we've arrived. 13. Diesel, denim's middle-class darling Diesel, once defined premium denim. In the early 2000s, owning a pair of Diesel jeans meant you were ahead of the fashion curve. But trends shift fast, and Diesel struggled to hold on to its relevance. Creative director Glenn Martens has recently injected new life into the brand, but among the ultra-rich, denim itself has moved into a different category. They now gravitate toward houses like the Row or Loro Piana, where jeans can cost over $1,000 a pair. For the wealthy, Diesel is firmly in the rearview mirror, yet middle-class shoppers still see the brand as a stylish, edgy choice. A denim upgrade that makes a statement without breaking the bank. 14. Mont Blanc, from prestige pens to diluted luxury. A Mont Blanc pen has long been the quintessential graduation or promotion gift. Sleek, heavy in the hand, topped with that white star logo, it screams success for middle-class professionals. But for billionaires, Mont Blanc has lost its shine. Once revered for exquisite writing instruments, the brand branched into watches, accessories, and even fragrances. This expansion diluted its image among true connoisseurs, who now prefer vintage pens or independent makers with obsessive craftsmanship. To the middle class, however, Mont Blanc still feels timeless, and I've made it, purchase you keep for life. The wealthy, meanwhile, see it as another brand that traded rarity for recognition. 15. Tory Burch, suburban luxury. Tory Burch built a $2 billion empire from ballet flats and logo bags. For the middle class, her brand remains a gateway into the world of designer fashion. Saving up for a pair of Tory Burch flats or a logo tote still feels like an initiation into luxury. But to billionaires, the brand is categorized as suburban luxury. Items created specifically for upper middle class buyers who want accessible status symbols. The ultra-rich prefer niche designers with deep heritage and limited runs. For them, Tory Burch represents aspiration, not exclusivity. For everyone else, though, it still feels like a dream come true. The pattern is undeniable. What the middle class sees as the pinnacle of luxury, the ultra-wealthy often view as mass-market branding. For billionaires, true luxury isn't about logos or being instantly recognized. It's about heritage, craftsmanship and rarity. A Rolex might dazzle a young professional, but the old money elite prefer a Philippe Dufour that hardly anyone can name. A Louis Vuitton monogram bag may light up a middle-class shopper, but the ultra-rich want a leather piece with no logos at all. At its core, this divide comes down to psychology. Middle-class consumers buy status symbols to signal that they've made it. Billionaires don't need their clothing or watches to prove anything. Their names on buildings, companies, and foundations already speak volumes. So while aspirational buyers chase brands like Michael Kors, Coach, or Tory Burch, the truly wealthy are off in another world, choosing items most people wouldn't even recognize. So, which of these brands surprised you the most? Were you shocked that Rolex or Louis Vuitton ended up on the list? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown of luxury psychology fascinating, make sure to subscribe. We publish deep dives into the world of wealth and exclusivity every week. And don't stop here. Watch our playlist next for more insights into how the rich really live, from hidden fashion codes to mega mansion tours. Because true luxury isn't about what everyone sees, it's about what only a few truly understand.